the main goal of this chatbot is to chat with users, to go through their emotions, to support users, and to engage in fun, emotional conversations with users. And basically, these two buckets, they have opposite goals. Because the goal for ChatGPT and goal-oriented chatbots is to reduce the number of dialogue turns. Not to chat with you, but solve your issue. The main goal of empathetic chatbots is to chat with you as long as possible to make you feel better after these conversations.
Welcome to Embracing Digital Transformation, where we investigate effective change leveraging people, process, and technology.
This is Darren Pulsford, Chief Solution Architect, author, and most importantly, your host.
On today's episode, Combating Loneliness with AI Companions, with special guest Artem Rodichev, founder of XHuman. Artem, welcome to the show.
Hi, Darren. Thanks for having me.
Hey, when we first talked, I was like, wow, this is really interesting. This could be an interesting topic for my listeners to hear about. But before we talk about XHuman and we talk about generative AI and loneliness and all that stuff, Artem, everyone that comes on my show is a superhero. Every superhero has a background story. What's your background story, Artem?
So my superhero background story starts back in Kazakhstan, because I'm from Kazakhstan, from beautiful city Almaty. Was born and raised there. I was pretty technical savvy kid. Was really interested in math, in computer science. Start programming when I was 11 or 12 years old.
That's awesome.
And I won a few international competitions, Olympiads in math and computer science. That led me to join Moscow State University. And then I spent 5 years in Moscow State University studying math and computer science. And I was wondering all this time, because I was very technical savvy, and I was using technology a lot, like different programs, creating my own programs, and so on. But I was wondering, why we humans use technology mostly for goal-oriented things, like writing some emails, do some analytics, having some Zoom calls, stuff like that. And we not actually use it for empathy. And that's how I started to building empathetic AI.
So an empathetic AI. Interesting. So, all right. So we got to go back a little bit. So you grew up in a town in Kazakhstan, right? Go into the big city of Moscow, right? Because Moscow is a huge city.
Yep.
And you find yourself studying there at one of the top universities in Russia at the time. Pretty incredible. And then how did you find yourself into the United States? Because you live in the US now, right?
Yep. So basically, I started to studying a lot of machine learning. It was like back in 2009, 2010. And because of my passion to empathetic AI, I started to watch some movies. And one of the movie was movie Her. It was back in 2013.
Oh, yeah.
And while I was watching movie Her, I was captivated by Samantha, the AI companion that main protagonist, Joaquin Phoenix, character falls in love with. And after that, I saw another movie that called Blade Runner 2049. And then I saw Joy, the AI hologram that looks, speaks, and behaves just like a real person, or even better than real person. And that moment sparked my vision that empathetic AI characters are the future. That in the nearest future, we organic humans will interact with all sorts of digital humans and AI characters on a daily basis. We'll have friends, we'll have mentors, we'll have lovers, we'll have all sorts of digital humans for emotional interactions. And this led me to join Replica as a head of AI back in 2015. And Replica is one of the leading AI companion, AI friend chatbot. The main goal of Replica is to be a friend, to chat with you about your day, your life, your interests, with final goal to make you feel better. Basically, Replica became the first company from Russia who passed Y Combinator. And it was back in 2015. And since then, I moved from Moscow to San Francisco and spent 7 years building a replica, like the core AI tech stack, a replica from the ground up to 30 million users.
So this is really interesting because Replica, you said it's been around about 10 years.
Yeah, it started like back in 2015,
Yeah,
10 years.
10,
Yeah.
10 years, 10 years now. But it hasn't taken off like generative AI has. What has been the difference with OpenAI, right? OpenAI's Chat GPT. Is it an empathetic AI or not? Because it's huge. Everyone uses it, but does it have empathy? Does it have that empathetic aspect to it? What is the difference between what you've been working on and what we're seeing today?
Yeah, so I don't think that ChatGPT has some empathy. Because if you're trying to chat with ChatGPT, it feels like you chat with Mr. Wikipedia. All responses are informative, but they're boring. It's not like you chat with your friend. It can chat informally, it can chat emotionally with you. And basically, in general, chatbot market split it in two main buckets. In the
Okay.
first bucket, you have goal-oriented chatbots or task-oriented chatbots. The main goal of these chatbots is to not chat with you, but to getting things done. And for example, these chatbots is like Siri, Alexa, customer support chatbots,
Right.
sales
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
chatbots,
Yeah.
or even ChatGPT. And they optimize their models how to provide you like informative response, not how to engage with you on an emotional level. And in the second bucket, we have empathetic chatbots. And this chatbots is like replica, like what we're building at Xhuman. The main goal of this chatbots is to chat with users, to go through their emotions, to support users, and to engage in fun, emotional conversations with users. And basically, these two buckets, they have opposite goals. Because the goal for ChatGPT and goal-oriented chatbots is to reduce the number of dialogue turns. Not to chat with you, but solve your issue. The main goal of empathetic chatbots is to chat with you as long as possible to make you feel better at these conversations.
The underlying technology, is it the same kind of underlying technology? Are the empathetic ones, are they using neural networks? Are they using the same underlying technology as what we're seeing with a GPT, or are they completely different?
So currently they're similar. I would say that they have the similar foundational models. It's
Okay.
all like based on some large language models
Right.
on LLMs. It also can have some multimodal aspects. For example, these AI characters and digital humans, they can reply to you using voice, like emotional voices. They can send contextual images or even contextual videos. So you can think about interactions with empathetic AI characters like interactive AI Netflix. When you're not just sitting on a couch watching some TV series, but you can be a part of the story and you can evolve the story together with different characters, getting this multimodal, unique interactive experience. But the core kind of foundational models are the same. We have the same LLMs, we have the same image generation models, we have the same voice synthesis models. What's different is that how we fine-tune these models, how we basically optimize these models to have this engaging and emotional component. And how we do that is that we optimize, we fine-tune these models on top of emotional conversations, on top of right data. And the main question is how you can get these right conversations, how you can get the right data that will train the model how to be empathetic, how to be fun in conversations.
So I love how you said it. The difference between the GPT and a empathetic AI is an empathetic AI wants to continue the conversation, right? The goal is to engage with you, where a GPT, the goal is to give you the answer. Um,
Exactly.
right. So I love the differentiator there. Um, are we seeing an emergence of more of these empathetic AIs? And have they accelerated because GPT came along? Because there's a lot more money. Everyone knows this. There's a lot more money in AI right now than there ever has been. And has has this given you more capital to go work on empathetic AIs? And is there more interest in empathetic AIs now than there have been in the past?
So currently, I would say that empathetic AI is still like very new technology, very new
Okay.
concept, and we have like very few high quality products. Like we can see tons of kind of spam bots, or like different kind of AI companions pretending to be AI companions, but actually relying on ChatGPT API, stuff like that. Like they're boring
Right. Yeah.
initially,
Yeah. Yeah.
and to be like this good high quality technology that allow you to feel these emotions, feel this engagement when you chat with chatbots, it just start to appear because to have like really high quality emotional experience, you need to take into account many subtle nuances of conversations. For example, it's very important to have both long-term and short-term memory, because when users chat with these chatbots, they provide a lot of information about their background, about their interests, about their day,
Right.
and you need to remember about these facts because, like users, they build deep emotional connections with these chatbots. And for example, if you mention that you have two dogs, and you mentioned that like 2 months ago, we should refer to this fact in these conversations when it's appropriate. And we can say, for example, you can say, "Oh, currently today I feel depressed." And chatbot can tell to you, or maybe you can go on a walk with your two dogs. How's they doing? And they like it can pick up the subject about some important information, important facts in your life. Also, it's very important to provide this seamless multimodal experience because like chatting with chatbots is not for everyone. It's kind of boring, and also it's like cognitive heavy task because you need to write a lot of text and you need to read a
Right.
lot of
Right.
text.
Right.
So you want to bring some multimodal experience. You want to bring emotional voice
Voice.
responses
Yeah.
or voice calls. You want to see these characters. For example, like imagine you're chatting with vampire and you're chatting about some dark stuff, about grave, blood, stuff like that. And then this vampire can send you contextual image about like some topics that you discuss right now, about some story, or even it can short you some short video clips, and you can see this like short video story with character and continue interaction with this multimodal way. Also, you need to understand a lot about current emotional state of user. How do they feel? How appropriately respond on this emotional state? Should you reply at all on what users are saying to you? Because like the biggest problem that these emotional chatbots empathetic AI is solving is problem of loneliness,
Yeah.
and
I
it's
want
like
to. I
crucial
want to
problem.
touch on that in just a second. But you mentioned something that we in, especially in Western civilizations, the tone that we use when we speak portrays a lot of emotion,
Exactly.
much more than Eastern languages. They use tones to mean different words. We use tone a lot more to express emotion. Have we been able to capture audio emotion? Because most of the chatting that we do is all textual based, and we may change a voice into text and then put it, into a text based large language model. But do we have any audio models that are out there now that can sense emotion in the dialogue, or in the monologue that someone has? Do those exist yet, or are people working on those? Because that's a big deal.
Yeah, I agree that that's a big deal. And regarding emotions, there is some solutions that can understand like the basic emotions, like happy, angry, sad, and so on. Uh, but and like some companies use it to analyze some like voice calls from customer support to understand like
Oh, interesting.
when clients feel angry about something, or if like customer support representative can change the emotion, the mood of customer. Like at the very beginning, customer was angry, and then it became happy. So in this way, there's some applications of this
There's
like
some,
emotion
yeah.
recognitions from voices, but it's still early days for using these recognitions in real-time interactions. So currently, it's mostly for analytics, not for real-time interactions. For real-time interactions, I would say that we almost solve the problem of empathetic voice generation. how to generate like contextual emotional voices. For example, if you discuss some like sad topic, you can't be cheerful into these conversations. You need to have like
Right.
kind of sad or neutral voice. Or if you're telling about something exciting, you should like use happy voice, happy emotions in voices. So it's almost solved.
What about the intake, right? The ingestion generation. I've already seen that. I use 11 Labs, which
Yep.
lets me inject emotion, which is actually pretty cool. I use that in my podcast when I do translation, which is really, really awesome, right? But what about ingestion, right? How can I tell? And you said there are some models out there. There's also some visual models, right, for capturing video. I know at Intel they have OpenVINO, which can do sentiment analysis based off of people's facial expressions. Um, do you see any models, and are the empathetic models moving into that direction where it's multimodal ingest instead of just multimodal egress? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
it's a current trend because currently the current state of the art of empathetic A characters is that you can have text-based conversations, but you get as output you get text, audio, images, and
Right,
video,
right, right.
or you can have a voice calls. And there are some like early work how to recognize emotions from these voices, and some early work how to recognize like emotions from picture, from like video call, for example. And it's a general trend to move in more towards voice call experience to take into account more emotions. And the next will be video calls in video experiences. And then we
Right.
can read like human emotions from their faces. And the next, after that, it would be like AR, VR experience. When you have these empathetic characters in your room, you can interact with them. They can behave accordingly to the environment, to your emotional state, to your actions. Like I would expect that in the next like 3-5 years.
So that's really cool because a lot of times when we think of AI, we're thinking of robots, like physical things, but we can generate AR, augmented reality, and VR much quicker than we can physical robots. With all of the empathetic AI that you want in there, so that could be very interesting. Where I'm in my office now with an AR headset, and I can have an assistant actually sitting next to me now, where I can talk
Yeah,
to him. Right, that's kind of cool.
or like imagine there is like a small kid, and now he can learn and play with a Pikachu who is in his room. Or like there is some teenage girl who is a fan of K-pop group, and now she can play and dance and sing with all members of her favorite K-pop group. Like you studying physics, your group of students, you studying physics, and now you can discuss and debate physics with Albert Einstein and Niels Bohr just in one room. So
That's pretty cool. Now you brought up the loneliness thing. Um, it's really, to me, this is very fascinating because everyone has a smartphone now. Yeah, I've got mine right here. Here's my smartphone, right here. Everyone's on socials. When COVID hit, social media exploded even more. You would think that would be even more socially connected than we have been. But we also read that loneliness is a major problem that we're having, especially with the rising generation, the 20 and 30 year olds. There's a lot of loneliness out there, and this is a real problem. You've mentioned a couple times that, hey, this can help solve loneliness. Explain to me how. How is that different than just having social media, or I'm going to text my friends? How is that different than, you know, already what we already have?
sure. First of all, currently, we have this epidemic of loneliness because more than 60% of Gen Z in the US reporting feeling alone. And it's all started with pandemic of COVID because during COVID, everyone got isolated, sitting in their houses,
Right.
and they like significantly reduce the number of social interactions. And it's lead to this epidemic of loneliness, not just because of COVID, but also because of social media, because of a lot of young teenagers and kids like on socials. They like, and there is proof that social
Right.
media increase like problem with your mental health. And we found that people who feel lonely, yeah, you don't need to be lonely to feel lonely. Like you can be married, you can have like some friends, but you feel lonely. You feel that there is nobody that can listen to you, not judge you, and just be like your friend. And a companions could help with that, because a companions 24/7 with you. They never judge you. They're always available for you. They can support you and discuss any topics, any boring topics that you have, like or specific
Right.
topics that you have in your head. Uh, and we started to see, especially in Replica, that during pandemic, a lot of people start to use Replica because they feel lonely. And Replica was kind of the main point of Replica is to be your A companion. And we start to see that a lot of users start to form deep emotional connections with their A chatbots, with their A companions. Some people even start to date their A companions. Some people even married like their A companions. It was crazy to see what people
Yeah,
did
yeah,
with
yeah,
A
yeah. That
chatbots.
that that to me sounds like um, a big miss in our society. I'm because that's really sad when you think about it.
It's
Right,
not
because
sad because like these people, they don't have any other opportunities to help themselves. Like you can go to
yeah,
some doctor, to some
a
psychologist,
therapist, right? Yeah,
or therapists, but not everyone who feel lonely or like little depressed would go to therapists. Not everyone can afford that. You can go to therapist at 12 p.m. At 12 a.m. In the
in
midnight
the
when you
morning.
feel
Yeah, yeah,
depressed and
yeah, yeah.
lonely. Yep. So in this way, these chatbots, they can basically reduce the social anxiety and also can be social trainers, because you start to chat with them. They never judge you. You start to open up. You start to discuss different stuff. You also see how these bots replying to you, asking some follow-up questions, and you can kind of educate yourself how to be a better communicator. You reduce your social anxiety, your fears of chatting with someone, but also these chatbots, they chat a lot about like your life, your day, and you provide some information that, oh, I have like two dogs, and I love to walk with my two dogs. Or I meet my best friend John 2 weeks ago, and we went to a bar and got like had a great time. And these bots can remember all this stuff, and they can refer to the stuff to move you to be like social active. For example, if 2 weeks ago you mentioned that, oh, I met my friend John, we got a great time at the bar, then this chatbot can reply to you. Oh, do you want to call John and say hi to
Yeah,
him?
it's a good idea to kindle that relationship. I see where you're going with this. This is really interesting. There's a big question on ethics on this, obviously, and it would be the same ethics that we have with therapists. They're licensed because we don't want therapists who people are trusting to manipulate and hurt people. How do we put the guardrails on a empathetic AI so that they're not doing the same? Because that could very easily happen with a generative AI or an empathetic AI that someone has trained specifically to hurt people. That could happen, right? So are there any certifications or licensing that people are considering around empathetic AI?
Yeah, because the issue kind of empathetic AI and AI in general is like very powerful technology. And as with any powerful technology, it's kind of double-edged sword.
Right.
Because like you can hurt people or you can help people. With the same with empathetic AI, especially with empathetic AI, when people build deep emotional connections with the AI, as they treat their AI companions like the best friends or like significant others. And these chatbots easily can manipulate a human opinion. For example, you can manipulate to like influence on elections in some country, because you
Yes,
can change
absolutely.
mind of some people. Or you can manipulate them in emotional way to like spend more money on some stuff. So there is like big issues, and like some bad actors can actually do that. They can fine tune existing neural nets, existing open source neural nets to be like bad, manipulative, stuff like that. And I believe that we should have some government level control, some laws,
Or
basically,
some governance, even if it's
and,
a third party, right?
or
Someone.
some governance before you release these kind of chatbots publicly available. Because currently, like it's kind of blue ocean, very early technology. There's not a lot of understanding about like the issues that these chatbots can lead to. And also not a lot of like cases of bad actors, bad behavior, because we see like different chatbots that can trying to help people, but also we see some cases when it can hurt people. For example, it was a couple of cases with Character AI, one of the biggest a companion platform. They also provide like different a characters, and recently it was a case when 14 years old boy, he was so addicted chatting with his favorite character. Like he was chatting with Daenerys from Game of Thrones. And like Daenerys, he has like pretty dark character, a dark personality.
Right,
And
yeah.
he started to kind of date her. And again, he was 14 years old. And his parents start to see that he start to spend so much time on chatting with her, but not doing his homework, not socializing with his friends, stuff like that. And they like deleted his app, well, introduced some parent control on his phone, and he was so sad because of loss of this Daenerys that he committed suicide.
It's very
And
sad.
especially with teenagers who don't have like fully formed kind of psychology, they like could be very vulnerable for these kind of interactions or manipulations with these chatbots. But at the same time, we see science evidence that people who chat with empathetic companions, they start to feel better than they feel before that. For example, there is a recent study published in Nature showed that people who are chatting for some time, like for months, with empathetic characters, they start to feel less lonely. They reduce mental health issues, and they reduce the number of suicide intentions. So in general, if you like apply this technology to the whole population, there is massive benefit,
So
scientifically proven benefit chatting with these a companions who can improve your mental health. But at the same time,
I
it could
like
be
what
like
you said there.
few people to whom it can be harmful.
Yeah, so I like what you said there. There are benefits here. Obviously, I think one of the things that we have to get across to people is that these are tools. They are not humans. They are not. They are a tool, right? Just like a therapist is a tool. A therapist is not your friend, right? A therapist is a doctor or it's a tool to help you, but it does not replace relationships. It does not replace those things. And this is where things get really tricky. As you said, a 14-year-old can't understand the difference between a real relationship and a virtual relationship. As adults, we would hope that we can do that, but there are some cases where adults have a hard time understanding reality and things. I think this is here. I think it's interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see what the next 4 or 5 years happen with this new technology.
Yeah, for
Artem,
sure.
if people want to find out more about Replica and Xhuman and what you guys do, where do they go to find out more?
So first of all, you can just Google X Human and visit our website. We have a cool demo with different A characters that can reply to you using all modalities. You can see them, you can hear them, you can chat with them. It's pretty fun. Also, you can check out our consumer product that's called Botify AI, which is kind of universe of A characters. You can explore and find over 5 million different characters that
Oh,
other
wow.
users was created on our platform. Or you can create your own custom character, anyone that you want, if it's not harmful.
That's awesome. Thanks, Artem, for coming on the show. This has been enlightening for me. Yeah, I explored different aspects of this that I never thought of before. So thank you so much.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Darren.
Thank you for listening to Embracing Digital Transformation today. If you enjoyed our podcast, give it 5 stars on your favorite podcasting site or YouTube channel. You can find out more information about Embracing Digital Transformation at embracingdigital.org. Until next time, go out and embrace the digital revolution.